Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Noble, and today I'm going to share with you my Noble Knight deck profile. So Noble Knights actually have a special place in my heart because this was actually the deck, like the set of the Platinum Rare Noble Knights of the Round Table. When that set came out, this made me really fall in love with Yu-Gi-Oh. I had really enjoyed it. Like, wasn't I disliked it? I enjoyed it, but then I got one box, and then I ended up getting two more boxes like the day it came out, and I just really fell in love with them. Definitely one of my favorite decks of all time. I know you're probably thinking you say that about every deck. Yeah, well, I like all decks. Anyway, except Pendulums. Anyway, so the Noble Knights are really special to me, so I've played them like every single different way under the sun. I wanted to do a profile though before the new Flame Noble Knights come out, which I'm super excited to get into. But you can run this deck several different ways actually, but this is the build that I am going with. And I might do a different one before the other ones come out too, but I don't know, we'll see. But without further ado, guys, let's jump right on into this one. I'm super excited to get into this one. So, to start off with, we are going to be playing 3 Noble Knight Brothers. Noble Knight Brothers is really, really good card. So what this card does is this card can only attack if you control exactly 3 Noble Knight monsters and no other monsters. When this card is normal summon, you can special summon up to 2 Noble Knight monsters from your hand. Also, you cannot special summon monsters for the rest of this turn except Noble Knight monsters. Once per turn, you can target 3 Noble Knight and or Noble Arms cards in your graveyard, shuffle all 3 into the deck, and then you draw cards. That is really, really good. This is a great card, especially for getting more bodies out in the field, and then be able to shuffle our resources back into the deck and then dig a little deeper. So that's really awesome. So for the next 3, I'm running 3 Merlin. Yeah, I'm running the Merlin build. If you don't, because I'm not playing Ash in this, Call by the Grave in this particular one. So if you don't want to run the Merlins, you could swap these out for Call by the Grave. That would be totally fine as well, but I really like Merlin because he's basically extra copies of him with drop. So what he does is you can tribute this card, you can only use each effect of Merlin once per turn. You can tribute this card special summon 1 Noble Knight monster from your deck. You cannot special summon monsters at the turn you activate this effect except Noble Knight monsters, which, keep that in mind just in case you try to go into some other plays in our extra deck, but most of the time that's not going to be a big deal. Quick effect, you can banish this card from your graveyard. Immediately after this effect resolves, you can synchro summon 1 Noble Knight synchro monster using monsters you control, or quick effect, you can banish this card from your graveyard. Immediately after this effect resolves, XYZ summon 1 Noble Knight XYZ monster using monsters you control. So I really like him. I think he helps out the consistency a lot. So that's why I'm running 3 of him. But if you wanted to play Call by the Grave, or Ash, or something else, that would be totally fine as well. So I'm playing 2 of the Morgan, the Enchantress of Avalon, if I could say it. So I was super excited about this addition to the deck because it was something I felt the deck really desperately needed. So what Morgan does is when your opponent activates a card or effect while you control a Noble Knight monster and a Noble Arms equip spell, which you will. Quick effect, you can send this card from your hand to the graveyard, destroy 1 Noble Arms equip spell you control, and if you do negate the activation, you can only use this effect of Morgan, the Enchantress of Avalon, once per turn. Which, if you don't know what the Noble Knight Arms, the Noble Arms cards do, we'll get to that, but that's not a big deal for those of you who don't know. But this is a really, really good card. I love anything that protects the field from the hand. I'm a huge fan of. I almost ran this at 3, but believe it or not, 3 can get a little bit breaky. But it's just really nice to have that in your hand, not have to worry quite as much. So I'm playing 3 Madrot. I'm playing on the Platinum Rare just for throwback reasons. I have the other rarities, but I don't know. Personally, I like Platinum Rare. But what Madrot does is this card is treated as a normal monster while face up on the field. While equipped with a Noble Arms equipped spell, this card becomes an effect monster with the following effect. That this card becomes dark and its level is increased by 1, so he's a dark level 5 if he's equipped with a Noble Arms card. Once per turn, if you control no other monsters, you can special summon 1 Noble Knight monster from your deck in defense position, except another copy of this card, and then if you do, you destroy 1 equipped spell card you control. So he is really, really good. Definitely my favorite. Next up, I'm playing 3 Noble Knight, I don't know how to say it, Custon? Something like that. So what he does is if you control a Noble Arms equipped spell, you can special summon this card from your hand. You can only special summon this card once per turn this way. A Noble Knight monster, if a Noble Knight monster that was Synchro, XYZ, or Link summoned using this card's material gains this effect. If this card is special summoned, you can normal summon 1 Noble Knight monster during your main phase this turn. In addition to your normal summon set, you can only gain this effect once per turn. You cannot special summon monsters in the extra deck for the rest of this turn except Noble Knight monsters. So that is a really, really good. Just being able to get us out another body, that is really cool. You could bump him down to 2 if you wanted to, but honestly I use him quite a bit. So next up I'm playing 2 Ivan. I think is how you say it. So what Ivan does is if a Noble Arms equipped spell is equipped to this card, you special summon a 1 Noble Knight token. It's a warrior light level 4 and attack and defense 1000. And you can't special summon monsters the rest of this turn, except Noble Knight monsters. You can only use the effect of Noble Knight Ivan once per turn. While this card is equipped with a Noble Arms equipped spell, all other Noble Knight monsters you control gain 500 attack. So that is really cool. I really like him because he's a token generator and he also boosts up our monsters. So that is great. I'm running 2 boars actually. So I was running boars at 1, but I kind of felt like I needed a second one. And then I don't know. You could this one's flexible. If you wanted to just run 1, that would be totally fine. You could do that. But what he does is this. A lot of times you'll be summoning out him off of Madrat's effect because what he does is this card is tribute to a normal monster while this card is face up on the field, and then if it's equipped with a Noble Arms card, it gains the following effect: that it becomes a dark and his level is increased by 1. So him and Madrat do the same thing in that regard. During your main phase, you can reveal 3 Noble Arms cards in your deck, have your opponent randomly add 1 of them to your hand, and then send the rest to the graveyard. You can only use this effect of Noble Knight boars once per turn. So that is really, really good. Getting able to, basically the ones that they'll send to the graveyard. Unless they banish them from the graveyard, that's not going to be a big deal as well because you're going to bring them from the graveyard and equip them to your Exceed play. So you basically get to search out 3 and equip them. So that is really cool. Do be careful though if you use Excalibur for that play. Excalibur is the 1 card that doesn't come back after it's popped, but we'll get to that in a little bit. So for the next 2, I'm playing 2 Gawain. Gawain is just really good. He's just really useful because if you control a light normal monster, you can special summon this card from your hand defense position. That's not once per turn. So this is really easy to help go into our plays. I'm playing 1 Dristan. Dristan is cool because what Dristan does is while you control another Noble Knight monster, your opponent cannot target monsters with less than 1800 attack, except this card for attacks or card effects. So that is really cool. When a Noble Arms equipped spell is equipped to this card, you can target 1 face-up card on the field and destroy that target. You can only use this effect of Noble Knight Dristan once per turn. So I really like Dristan, just for the protection and then the pop. That is really cool. I'm playing 1, I don't know how to say this one, Guashelvad, something like that. This card is stupid cheap. Ultimate rare is like $2. It's crazy. But basically what he does is treated as a normal monster, and then when he gains an additional effect when he's equipped with the Noble Arms, and the effect he gains is you can target Noble Knight monster in your graveyard and add it back to your hand, and then if you do, you destroy 1 Noble Arms equipped spell you control, and you only use this effect of Noble Knight, however you say it, once per turn. So I like him for that, and then he's got a decent body at 15 to 18, but we're not really going to use him for that. But I do like him for that recycle effect. I'm playing 1 Noble Knight of Black Laundricillin. I don't know how to say that, guys. You know this by now. You can send 1 face-up light normal monster you control to the graveyard, special summon this card from your hand or graveyard. You can tribute 1 Noble Knight monster, add 1 Noble Arms card from your deck to your hand. You only use this effect of a Noble Knight of Black. Once per turn, you only control 1 of these guys. So that's really cool. He's easy to get out, and he's just really helpful, honestly. So I'm playing 1 Noble Knight Ishtar. I think it's how you say it. For someone who's been playing this deck for a long time, you think by now I would know how to say all the cards, right? Well, you'd be wrong. You'd be dead wrong. What he does is you can banish 2 Noble Knight monsters from your graveyard, special summon this card from your hand or graveyard. You can only use this effect of Noble Knight Ishtar once per turn. A synchro or exquisite summon of Noble Knight monster using this card's material cannot be negated. Also, your opponent cannot activate cards or effects from that monster's special summon. So that is really, really cool. Just being able to lock out your opponent from responding to the summon. That is really great. I definitely use him for that a lot. I'm playing 1, the Queen of Noble Arms. I can't say her first name. You can target 1 Noble Knight monster you control. Basically, she equips to it, and then the monster gains an effect based on the attribute if it was light or dark. So if it was light, the equipped monster would be destroyed by battle. A card effect, you can destroy this card instead. And then if it's dark, the equipped monster battles an opponent's monster at the start of the damage step. You can destroy that monster, then destroy this card, and then they also gain 300 attack. So that's really cool. And then I'm playing just 1 Lady of the Lake. Lady of the Lake's really helpful. She's a tuner. 200 attack, 1800 defense. She can't be used to the synchro summon. She cannot be used as synchro material, except the synchro summon of a warrior type monster. This card is used for synchro summon. You banish it. When this card is normal summoned, you can target one Noble Knight normal monster in your graveyard and special summon that target. If this card is in your graveyard, you can target one level 5 Noble Knight monster you control, reduce its level by 1 if you do special summon this card from the graveyard. So she is really, really helpful to go into our synchro plays, and that's why I play her. So I'm not running Ashe. I just felt cramped. I didn't really want to. You could do that if you wanted to. Like I said, you don't have to play the Merlin. I like the Merlin build, so that's what I'm doing. But if you want to do something else, that's fine. But that is it for the monsters. I think that's enough. Let's get into the spells, because we do play a good number of spells. So to start off with, we are playing 3 of the Heritage of the Chalice. This card is so good. I love this card. What this card does is, it's a normal spell. You add 1 Noble Knight monster or 1 Noble Arms card from your deck or graveyard to your hand. Like, that is so good. That is so good. I really love that search. If your Noble Knight monster equipped with a Noble Arms card, if your Noble Knight monster equipped with a Noble Arms card is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard while the card is in your graveyard, you add this card back to your hand. That is awesome. It recycles itself. You only use 1 Heritage of the Chalice effect per turn, only once that turn. So that search and then that recycle effect is so good. I'm running 2 Glory of the Noble Knights. I was running 3, but I bumped it down to 2. But Glory of the Noble Knights is a quick play spell. You can target 1 Noble Knight monster you control, equip it with 1 equip spell from your deck that can be equipped to that target. You only activate 1 Glory of the Noble Knights per turn. That is really, really good. Basically, to get to activate a Noble Arms card directly from your deck. That is fantastic. I'm running 1 Rhoda because, yeah, why the heck would we not run a Rhoda? So for the Noble Arms cards, I'm playing just 1 Caliburn. Caliburn's really cool. Basically, once during every your standby phase, you gain 500 life points, which is cool with Clarent, but we'll get to that in a second. And then your monster gains 500 attack. So the Noble Arms, with the exception of Excalibur, if they're destroyed once per turn, you can bring them back from the graveyard and equip them to any of your Noble Knight monsters, which is really, really cool. So that's why if we have to destroy one of ours to activate an effect, we don't care because it's going to come back from the graveyard again. So that is really cool. I'm running 2 Destiny. Destiny is really helpful. That's why I like this one at 2, because basically you equip it to a Noble Knight monster, and then any warrior monster, but once per turn the equipped monster cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects, and that is really, really cool because I love that protection. I'm running 2 Excalibur. Excalibur was the one I was just talking about. This one's really crazy. So what Excalibur does, if I can get it in frame, what Excalibur does is you equip only to a Noble Knight monster. It cannot be targeted by opponent's card effects. So this, with that, is a really great protection. During your turn, except the turn the card was sent to the graveyard, you can banish this card from your graveyard, then target 1 Noble Knight XYZ monster you control, special summon from your extra deck 1 Noble Knight XYZ monster with a different name by using that target as material, and the materials of that monster go to the materials of the newly summoned monster. And you will use the effect of Noble Arms Excalibur once per turn. So that is really cool, but do keep in mind that this is the only one that doesn't come back after it's popped. So if it's popped, it's not coming back like the rest of them. I'm playing 1 Clarent. Clarent's cool because it allows your Noble Knight monster to attack directly at the cost of paying 500 life points. So if you have Caliburn and Clarent, you basically get to do it for free. So that's cool. And then I'm playing just 1 Gallatin because Gallatin raises your monster's attack by 1,000, and then each of your standby phases it loses 200 attack. But it's not really going to matter that much because you're probably going to win at that point, or the monster will be turned into a different monster or something at that point. So this is a really cool one. I was running 2 Clarent, honestly, because like a lot of times your opponent is going to realize that they need to banish these things instead of popping them. So I had gotten my Clarent popped, like banished a lot. So a lot of times I was wanting 2, but I did bump it down to 2 for consistency reasons. But you could play 2 if you want. You can play 2 of all these if you want. It just might get a little bit breaky, but then just for the traps, I'm just playing 2 until Noble Arms are needed once again. This is a really cool, beautiful artwork. I love these secret rares, man. But basically, you excavate cards from the top of your deck equals the number of Noble Arms or quick spells you control, and if you do, you add 1 of them to your hand, and then you place the remaining on the top of your deck in any order. That is so cool, because a lot of times you'll have a full board of Noble Arms cards, so you could do up to 5. And then you get to add 1, and then you get to basically set up your next few draw phases, which is fantastic. And then it has a secondary effect. You can banish this card from your graveyard, except the turn this card was sent to the graveyard, and then you special summon from your deck 1 Noble Knight monster with a different name from the cards you control or in your graveyard, and you'll leave this effective until Noble Arms are needed once again once per turn. This is really, really cool because, like I said, just the effect of being able to excavate and then get one. And then also, like, just the fact that you can special summon from your deck, like from the graveyard, that is so cool. Definitely, you could run this at 3, honestly, if you really wanted to. If you want to get rid of Merlin or something. But I really like this card. I was playing it 3, but I bumped it down to 2. Alright, so that is it for the main deck. Let's get into the extra deck. And like I said, I will reiterate one more time. If you want to run Called by the Grave, that's totally fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But you can get rid of the Merlins or something else if you wanted to do that. So for the extra deck, I'm running 2 Artorias, King of the Noble Knight. So this card is really cool. I was able to pick up the Ultra Rare before it bumped up in price, so I was super excited about that. But so what Artorias does is he has 2,000 attack, 2,000 defense. He's 2 level 4 Noble Knight monsters. When this card is summoned, when this card is XYZ summoned, you can target up to 3 Noble Arms of quick spells of different names from your graveyard and equip those targets to this card. So that's, like I was saying, if you use boards, you're basically going to get all those anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Equip to this card, and then you can detach one material from this card and destroy any number of spells and traps on the field as the number of Noble Arms of quick spells you control. That is fantastic. You basically, like Harpy's Feather Duster, clear your opponent's entire back row, because a lot of times you're going to have multiple ones. So that is a really cool effect. I'm running 2 Sacred Noble Knight of King Artorias. This one's a little bit beefier. He has 2,200 attack, 2,200 defense. So he's 2 level 5 Noble Knight monsters in this card because he summons. Same thing, you target up to 3 Noble Arms of quick spells in your graveyard of different names and equip them to this card. Once per turn, you detach one material from this card, then target one monster on the field and destroy that target. So this one pops spells and traps, this one pops monsters. If this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can target one level 4 or higher Noble Knight monster in your graveyard and special summon it. So a really cool floating effect too to get some bodies back on the field to help to go into some other places as well. I'm running 2 Sacred Noble Knight of King Custian. Whatever. I've given up. But what he does is a 2+ level 4 Noble Knight monster. Is 1,500 attack, 2,500 defense. So you can detach any number of materials from this card and then target that many cards in your opponent controls and return them back to the hand. So he's like a compulse basically, which is really cool because that gets by, if it gets by protection on the target. If this card is destroyed by battle or card effect, or opponent's card effect, if this card is destroyed by battle or card effect and sent to the graveyard, you can special summon 1 Noble Knight XYZ monster from your extra deck, except another copy of this card. And if you do, you attach this card from the graveyard to that monster's material, and this is treated as an XYZ summon. You only use each effect of Sacred Noble Knight of King Custian once per turn. I'm sure I'm butchering that, but that is really cool. It basically has a compulse effect and a really great floating effect. I really like this card. I'm just running 1 synchro. I'm just running the Ignoble Knight of High Launderson, or however you say it. Man, glare. So you can't see it, but he's a beautiful secret rare. But what he does is he has 2,100 attack, 900 defense. When this card is synchro summoned, you can equip 1 Noble Arms card from your deck to this card. That's really cool. And then at the end of the battle phase, if this card destroyed an opponent's monster by battle sent to the graveyard, you can add a Noble Knight or Noble Arms card from your deck to your hand. You only control 1 Ignoble Knight of High Launderson once per turn. This card is really cool because you get to equip straight from your deck, and then you get to search either a Noble Knight or Noble Arms if this card destroys. So that is fantastic. So for the links, I'm running 2 Azal because Azal is freaking great. Absolutely love this card. So it's a link 2 warrior monsters to the card. Link summon, you can add 1 warrior monster from your deck to your hand. But the rest of this turn, you cannot normal summon, set, or special summon monsters with that name, nor activate that monster's effects. So it's a really great searcher, and it has a secondary effect. You can send any number of equipped spells of different names from your deck to the graveyard. Special summon 1 warrior monster from your deck whose level equals the number of cards sent to the graveyard. You can only use each effect of Azal 2 Tails Noble Knights once per turn. So she is really good. I don't recommend playing her any more than 2 because I don't think you're going to go into her more than twice, but she is really great. I'm running 1 Avermax just because I go into this quite a bit in this deck, and it is just a great card. 1 Boral Sword just for help for OTK. 1 Nightmare Unicorn. I'm going for 1 number 60 because it's just that attack boost is awesome, and then you get to do a few other options as well. 1 Abyss Dweller, and then 1 Evil Swarmer Exciton Knight. Most of the time you won't go into these, you'll be going to these guys. But this is just in case, depending on the situation, you want to cover some extra bases as well. But that is it for the deck, guys. I'm going to be doing a few more of these. I'm not doing test hands for this particular one, but I will be doing test hands for a different build for this one. But I hope you enjoyed it. If you haven't picked up this deck before, I really recommend doing it. I play this against my friend Six Samurais all the time. It's just a lot of fun to play. It's to me, it's really iconic. I really love the Noble Knights, and they're getting a whole bunch of the Flame Noble Knights are coming out soon, which is going to be really cool, and I'm super excited about that, and definitely look out for that deck profile as well. But as always, thanks for watching. While you're here, if you haven't already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Trying to get to 400 as soon as we can. Definitely looking forward to that. Hit that bell so you become a part of the notification team, so you can get notifications for more deck profiles just like this one. And hey, if you liked it, give this video a thumbs up. I would definitely appreciate it. And as always, I'll see you guys in the next video.